Holy shit! Was this a Sparking Zero video? Well, a couple of things. One, I did tell you guys that April was the month of Dragon Ball on this channel, at least because Battle Hour comes out this month. Battle Hour, whenever that comes out, that will always remain the month of Dragon Ball on this channel. This is the month of Dragon Ball, where along my normal scheduled content, right now, that being the Injustice 2 story mode, I'm going to be making Dragon Ball videos, probably around in, like, every 3 story mode videos is going to be a outpouring of Dragon Ball content. We're going to be finishing up Mission 100, and I'm going to be introducing a brand new series that I've been talking about for a couple of months now, and I've given much thought to this, going over the, essentially the 13 original DBZ movies, and going over and talking to you about what could have happened in their timeline, how do they square up against Buu sometimes, maybe, and a couple of other things about, like, okay, so how did it happen, what's in store for their future, how far do they get into the Z to Super Gauntlet, or GT Gauntlet in some cases, what does that look like? And since it's the first video, what am I including and what am I not including? One, I'm not going to do the 4 original OG Dragon Ball movies. One, no game has these characters, and I've yet to watch Mystical Adventure. I'm still waiting for the DVD of Mystical Adventure to come, so when that does happen, I will probably make a video on Curse of the Blood Rubies, Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle, Mystical Adventure, and Path to Power. But first, I do want to actually watch Mystical Adventure. And Bardock, the father of Goku, and the history of Trunks. And the reason I'm not including Bardock, the father of Goku, and history of Trunks is because they are canon to the Dead Zone timeline. And they're basically canon for every other timeline unless I specify otherwise of these 13 movies. Since Super Broly was not made by the time of these movies, something like Dragon Ball Z Kai, and yes, by the way, I will be differentiating between DBZ Kai and OG DBZ as separate timelines, because OG DBZ has filler, and that filler can be canon to the OG DBZ timeline, where things happened a little bit differently, and everything else. Where, well, even in Kai, Bardock, the father of Goku, is still the canon outcome. Probably along with history of Trunks. But for safekeeping, we're going to be keeping our fingers out of the Kai timeline, which is the primary super timeline, OG, Dragon Ball Kai, and then DBS. Which may or may not be replaced with the DBS remake, making the original Super its own timeline, kinda, at least in the way we're going to be doing this video series is, I believe Dragon Ball has 3 major timelines, with branching timelines throughout the Z timeline. The major timelines are the Super timeline, Daima timeline, and GT timeline. These are the 3 biggest branches of the Dragon Ball timeline, with the Super timeline being the major continuity that everything will evolve around, upon that being the main canon timeline, GT being the secondary, and Daima being the tertiary. I do not believe that Daima is canon to Super. Daima fucks up too much of Super's lore. Goku has SSJ4, Vegeta has SSJ3. They learn about the other universes, and Goku shouldn't have learned about that until Battle of the Gods. The creation story in Dragon Ball Daima does appear to conflict with Super's timeline. And yeah, so Daima is the 3rd major timeline. There's probably going to be no movies in the Daima timeline. I don't really have a reason for it. And because Daima only has 20 episodes, yeah, there's not really a lot to go off of. Jaima's pretty self-contained, but there might be movies that bleed into GT. But I think a major GT timeline will be something we can talk about later. But the movies we're going to be going over are Dead Zone, The World's Strongest, Tree of Might, Lord Slug, Cooler's Revenge, Return of Cooler, Super Android 13, Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan, BoJack Unbound, Broly Second Coming, Bio Broly, Fusion Reborn, and Wrath of the Dragon. And maybe Battle of the Gods in ROF, but considering that those are turned into arcs, these might be used for ending arcs for certain movie timelines. Anyhow, there will be gameplay in the background of said movie character, fighting the major opponents that they did in most cases. There is no Kami's Lookout map or any map for the Garlic Jr. movie or even the arc. So I'm using the mountains for the nighttime area because there's also no Dead Zone open portal map either, which I doubt will ever get added. Hopefully Kami's Lookout does get added, so when I actually do my moveset review of Garlic Jr., I have a canon place to at least put him. I'm not gonna really go over too much about how like the stories of the movie, other than Garlic Jr., according to the movie,
you kidnapped my son. Then you heard Ox King and Chi-Chi too.
Was going to, well, his father Garlic was going to become the next Guardian besides Kami, and obviously Kami sealed him away because he was evil. Garlic Jr. vows revenge, gathers the Dragon Balls, wishes for immortality, and to do that, he obviously needs to capture Gohan, because Gohan wears the 4-star ball at the beginning of Z. This causes Goku to get involved with Garlic Jr. Piccolo joins Goku, because earlier Garlic Jr.'s men did beat the crap out of Piccolo. So they team up similar to Raditz. You notice a lot of the Dragon Ball Z movies are kind of remix and what-if versions of certain things in the mainline games. Also, I'm not playing, I'm actually letting the CPUs go at it. With that being said, though, Goku and Piccolo fight Garlic Jr. He transforms into the form you see before you, Super Garlic Jr. And through that, Gohan wakes up and knocks Garlic Jr. into the Dead Zone. Now, the reason that this movie cannot be canon in the canon timeline is because, one, Goku and Piccolo team up, and two, both of them learn about Gohan's hidden potential, and both of them were shocked when he went ape shit against Raditz. Also, Krillin is there, who's shocked that Goku has a son. And in Z, it's mentioned this is the first time Goku and Piccolo team up is to fight Raditz. Now, I'm going to be smooshing a little bit of Z together. I believe that Garlic Jr. or Dead Zone takes place in the OG Dragon Ball Z timeline. It has a filler arc, the Garlic Jr. arc, taking place between the Frieza arc and the Android arc, where Gohan fights Garlic Jr. and he's out for revenge. So this might be obviously really simple and everything, but I believe that Dead Zone is canon to the original OG Dragon Ball Z TV show. With a few differences. Goku informed at the end of the movie, Goku informs Chi-Chi about Gohan's hidden potential. Chi-Chi refuses to let Gohan train, keeping him at the same power when Raditz shows up. So everything in the Saiyan arc goes to plan, which also makes the filler canon of OG Dragon Ball Z. In every arc, the filler is going to be canon because we are including the filler arc of Garlic Jr. Everything goes to plan with the Saiyans. Piccolo does train Gohan harder, already knowing his hidden potential, and does not plan on basically throwing him at the mountain and trains him harder. This doesn't make really much of a difference against the Saiyans, however, because Nappa and Vegeta very much outclass them all. Now, the Namek arc continues as normal with the allotted filler of the false planet Namek, the army of children that served under Frieza, that were refugees, and Bulma's crap shit on Namek. My least favorite part of DBZ filler ever is these stupid ass adventures that Bulma has on Namek. Everything goes to plan with the Ginyus, then with Frieza. Before the Garlic Jr. arc happens, and that goes exactly as it did in canon, where Gohan obviously knocks Garlic Jr. back into the Dead Zone, surpassing the power of Garlic Jr. empowered by the Makio Star. And then, through that, the Android arc, Cell arc, and Boo arcs go exactly as planned. And then we fall into the GT timeline, because if you pause the Super 17 thing, you can see that Garlic Jr. is here in Hell and is alive. I will not do the GT timeline for everything, because a lot of characters show up there, which don't work for some of these. But Garlic Jr. is one of those movies that doesn't really contradict with a few of them. So it doesn't really matter if he shows up in GT, because we don't see him. He's more of a cameo than anything. So the entirety of the Dead Zone timeline would look like this. The Dead Zone movie happens. The OG Dragon Ball Z anime happens, followed by Dragon Ball GT. And that's when the timeline ends with A Hero's Legacy. That's also a movie that I forgot to mention. I will not be bringing up A Hero's Legacy because, obviously, it's the last thing in the Dragon Ball timeline ever, unless you count Dragon Ball Online, where Dragon Ball Online is the canon last thing that ever happens in the Dragon Ball timeline period, because it's the furthest we've ever been into any timeline. With that being said, though, let me know what you guys think about this this brand new series. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much, and you guys appreciate everything here. I thought long and hard about some of these changes and what happens and shit. Some of these will get more, interesting as time goes on. This one is kind of boring because, yay. Goku this is just kind of the canon everything, and there's not much for me to really create. But next up is the world's strongest, which is Dr. Willow's movie, which I do have something more interesting for that one. There will be a similar nature for all three of the first, like, 3 Dragon Ball movies. Oh, and I guess Cooler's movie as well.